Hello everyone and welcome. As a seasoned crime analyst and storyteller, I'm here to unravel the complex details of true crime cases and present them in a way that's both engaging and easy to understand. Today, we're diving deep into some intriguing aspects of the Idaho case, specifically exploring posts believed to be from Bryan Kohberger on an online forum. The question I posed to you recently was whether you'd like me to delve into these online posts, especially those concerning his alleged struggles with visual snow syndrome. Many still have questions, and some may not even be aware of these posts or their timeline. The overwhelming response was a resounding yes, and that's why we're exploring this today. Some of these posts are quite thought-provoking. For those who might be concerned about discussing this public information and its potential impact on the trial, rest assured this is very public and historical information. In fact, one could argue that such details might even aid his defense. If he genuinely suffered from severe visual snow symptoms, his defense could argue how he could possibly drive at night, see in the dark, or commit such acts. This could offer significant avenues for both the prosecution and defense to consider, although I personally don't anticipate this specific information being used at trial. This video was also prompted by a quote from these very posts that was recently featured in the Dateline episode, Terrible Night on King Road, which sparked my initial question about diving into this topic. Please note that this content is for adults only, and viewer discretion is advised. First, a quick recap of the case. On November 13, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, and Xana Kernodle, were tragically killed in their off-campus home at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. On December 30, 2022, Bryan Christopher Kohberger, then 28 years old, the victims were all between 20 and 21, was apprehended. He has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary for entering the home, and he faces the death penalty. His trial is currently scheduled to begin with jury selection on July 30, 2025, with opening statements set for August 11, and the trial is projected to conclude by November 7, 2025. He is currently held in the Ada County Jail in Boise, Idaho, which is also where the trial will take place. In a previous video, we explored a detailed timeline of Bryan Kohberger's life, including his birth, family, high school experiences, and what acquaintances had to say. I encourage you to check that out if you haven't. It provides valuable context for understanding his mindset around the time of these online posts. Bryan Kohberger was born on November 21, 1994, in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. He claims to have developed visual snow symptoms at age 9, specifically palinopsia, which he described as an abnormal persistence or recurrence of an image over time, or intermittent after-images. These online posts originate from tapatalk.com under a profile named XOR with visual snow. The profile was created on November 2, 2009, and the last post was made on February 20, 2012. Now, how can we be sure this is Bryan Kohberger? While there's always a slight chance it isn't, the probability is very low. The profile photo resembles him, the birth date matches his, an associated email address has been linked to him by various media outlets, the location he described aligns with his timeline, and many of his statements correspond with public information we have about him. I'm 99% confident this profile belongs to him. It's important to remember this is public and dated information, but we're reviewing it due to the significant public interest. Considering his alleged visual snow, could this condition have played a role in events, perhaps influencing his perception? For instance, if he was the individual in the doorway on King Road, as alleged, and his adrenaline or blood pressure spiked, or if he was experiencing intense emotions, it could potentially affect his peripheral vision, especially at night. This could be a factor in why he might not have noticed DM in the doorway. We don't know if he saw her, but DM stated the suspect walked right past her. If that was Bryan Kohberger and he genuinely suffers from visual snow, it's an interesting aspect to consider. Between November 1st, 2009 and February 20th, 2012, when he was between the ages of 14 and 17, Bryan allegedly posted on this online forum, which served as a support group for individuals struggling with visual snow. He was actively trying to understand his condition. We'll go through some of the most relevant posts, but you can find links to the website and his profile in the description if you wish to explore them further. He graduated from Pleasant Valley High School in Pennsylvania in 2013. It's worth noting the timeline. In 2011, he enrolled in a law enforcement vocational program, from which he was later removed. He was allegedly posting on this forum while also pursuing aspirations of becoming an Army Ranger or police officer. So, what exactly is visual snow syndrome? It's a neurological condition where individuals perceive persistent flickering dots, static, or snow across their visual field, much like TV static. This often occurs even when their eyes are closed. It's not an eye problem, but rather an issue with how the brain processes visual information, possibly in the visual cortex. Symptoms can include floaters, light sensitivity, afterimages, and difficulty seeing at night. It's often constant, varying in intensity, and can be quite distracting and distressing. The causes aren't fully understood but may involve cortical hyperexcitability and are sometimes linked to migraines, tinnitus, or anxiety. There are many videos on YouTube from doctors and individuals with the condition explaining it, some describing it as constantly seeing tadpoles swimming in your eyes or permanent dust specks. It sounds incredibly frustrating to deal with. Typically experienced in both eyes, individuals with visual snow syndrome also often report light sensitivity, photophobia, palinopsia, afterimages, and impaired night vision. There's currently no cure, and treatments like tinted glasses or medications are experimental with varying effectiveness. What's particularly interesting, according to these posts, is that if this is indeed Bryan Kohberger, his extensive experimentation with his diet, eventually leading to extreme veganism, was an attempt to alleviate his visual snow symptoms. He was clearly struggling intensely with this condition. This adds a new dimension to our understanding of his dietary choices, as we previously discussed his struggles with weight and bullying, which he addressed through diet and exercise, even undergoing a tummy tuck. It seems this visual snow was a significant underlying challenge. Imagine enduring bullying, weight issues, substance abuse, and then, on top of that, this constant visual disturbance. He clearly went through a lot as a teenager. Let's dive into the timeline of his alleged posts on the Visual Snow Forum. Age 9, 2004. Bryan first experiences palinopsia, a visual snow symptom involving persistent afterimages. Think of seeing a bright light, then closing your eyes and still seeing its imprint, that sort of lingering image. 2009, age 14. Bryan marks this as the date his visual snow fully begins, following a summer of heavy PC use, excessive coffee consumption, and worsening anxiety. He wakes up with chronic visual snow. November 2nd, 2009, age 14, almost 15. He makes his first forum post, a survey about visual snow symptoms, echoing his known interest in surveys. He expresses deep distress, stating, "I am 15 in 21 days and don't want to wish I'm dead because of this horrible thing." Late 2009, September 23, 2010, he stops posting for nearly a year. September 23, 2010, age 15, he returns to the forum, venting about memory issues, stating he can no longer remember anything recent or from childhood, alongside depression, fixation on visual snow, and feelings of pointlessness. September 2010, March 2011, he posts infrequently with limited forum activity. April 21, 2011, age 16. He posts a significant update titled, "I know the cause or cure of visual snow," a bold claim that seemed to upset many users. He introduces his visual snow toxin diet theory, proposing two main ideas. 1. Visual snow is an inflammatory vascular disease due to head-throbbing sensations, And 2, it's caused or worsened by ingested toxins, particularly fungus or candida. He becomes obsessive about diets as a cure, sparking controversy. This dietary focus likely contributed to his later veganism. It appears he genuinely tried to help, but his delivery may have made others feel belittled or as if he was imposing his views, a pattern we've observed in his life. Even in this supportive community, his approach didn't always resonate. May 12, 2011, age 16. He shares a detailed post about his worsening psychiatric symptoms and depersonalization. These posts become quite profound. July 4, 2011, age 16. He posts his darkest and longest entry, describing severe hopelessness, depersonalization, and alienation. He writes, "Nothing I do is enjoyable. I am blank. I have no opinion. I have no emotion. I have nothing. Can you relate?" This entire post is incredibly dark. After July 21, 2011, he goes silent on the forum again. December 19, 2011. Age 16. He returns with a brief but dark post titled, "I simply don't want to live anymore," indicating a severe emotional low. December 20th. December 22, 2011. He posts for 3 more days, then goes silent again. February 19, 2012. Age 17. He announces his departure from the forum with a post titled, "Come to terms with the visual snow or the VS?" He states, "I've just accepted my visual snow finally. I don't even feel the need to stay away from the forum. It doesn't scare me anymore. Anyone else come to terms?" I feel like coming to terms could be a bad thing, though. This last sentence is intriguing, perhaps implying a surrender or resignation to a permanent condition he had deeply worried about. Let's look at some of his actual posts. His profile, XOR, with visual snow, shows he made 118 posts and received 3 likes. His first post, on November 2, 2009, is a survey, very similar in format to the criminology survey he later posted online. Is it as if the static gets bright after looking into a light? Adjusting to darkness? I can't see in the dark because of this. Do you ever see these random dots in your vision? Do you seem to see the visual snow mixed up, blurry, or hard to see even with vision correction? Are your eyes sensitive to light? Did this happen after a migraine? Does this ever make you feel less aware? Do you have tinnitus? Do you feel like you can't see because of the severity? Does it get better from healthy living? Does the VS get bright after working out? Does it sometimes go away completely mostly and come back after though? Did you come to think this is a mental disorder from migraine sufferers? Am I the only one who has a hard time seeing faces because of the VS? Do you sometimes have the ability to see everything clear like I do? Does time go fast? Do you take the time to feel good or relaxed? Do you feel hopeless after looking at a bright light? Do you see a lot of dots that are a rainbow? Major question. Can migraine auras cause this? I know that the visual sensitivity to light had to do with it, but after the migraine meds, is it possible this will disappear after a while? I am 15 in 21 days and don't want to wish I'm dead because of this horrible thing. Other questions. Do you ever feel like you can't see something though you can? Do you think the stuff I'm talking about with not being able to see well in the dark has to do with my eyes retaining light? Do you think that I can't see faces clearly sometimes because there's too much glare from the light sensitivity? I know sometimes it's gone. Any recommended diets? Can someone with severe VS like me please tell me how I can succeed in life with this? Do you feel depersonalized? Do you see a fingerprint in your closed eye vision? That's a lot for a 15-year-old. While some questions are medically related to visual snow, others sound quite sad. Do you feel hopeless? And, I don't want to wish I'm dead because of this horrible thing. This suggests he was dealing with more than just visual snow. On November 6, 2009, he wrote, "What is this? I keep waking up with severe VS is all I can see, and every time it goes away slightly, but now it just is sort of the same. All I can see is after images and VSWTF. This is making vision worse. This can't just keep up without a medical reason." He was clearly frustrated and desperate for answers. Another post from November 6, 2009 stated, "The night makes me just feel bored for some odd reason. The VS doesn't do, but I do wake up in the middle of the night, though that is not really new." This was in response to others' questions on the forum. On November 9, 2009, he asked, "On the left side of your peripheral vision, is there like a point where you pass something and it gets deformed slightly as if something flickers over it?" If we consider the allegations that he was in the house at 1122 King Road, and DM was on his left side as he was exiting, this question becomes particularly chilling. He added, "I can feel this somehow in my eye, but I'll be seeing a neurologist in 4 days. And since I saw an eye doctor a month ago and no eye condition develops like that, don't tell me to see one." It seems he already felt dismissed or misunderstood. On September 23, 2010, he wrote, "I can't remember anything recent or anything from childhood. This indicates issues far beyond just visual snow, touching on psychological concerns." He continued, "I used to be able to remember everything from my childhood and everything for a month before me. Now I am just a blank soul living in the now. What hurts the most is knowing that every time I try to remember things from the past, I can't, and my mind is so hung up with VS, all the migraine VS effects mentally, the buzzing in my ear that I can't even focus on that. I got it September 21st of last year, and ever since then I've been depressed. I can't remember anything at all, and I always have this horrible pressure in my head. My mind is never not on visual snow, and I always wonder what a normal person would be doing while I sit there and suffer. This whole thing has made me crazy. I feel like my life is pointless because people can think about times with parents or childhood memories and be happy, and I won't be able to." On April 22, 2011, he stated, "At first I always felt disconnected and not there. My reading also became difficult because it's as if I look through words. It's weird, like I can't see it in the right way." He later added, "That got less, and I read way above average, so I'm okay with VS. I think deeper. I'm a smart person, and anxiety makes you dumb in my opinion, not visual snow." When he tried to share his dietary findings, one user snarkily responded on April 24, 2011, "Looking forward to this video showing us what to eat." To which he retorted, "Why are you so spiteful about this diet that can possibly help you?" On April 24, 2011, in response to a new user asking for advice on what to tell their doctor about visual snow, Bryan suggested, "Show him the site. Tell him that there are such things as undiagnosed conditions." When the user expressed concern about seeming like a hypochondriac, Bryan responded, "I sure as hell am, but that is nothing new, man. I have always been one. Until I got VS, then I became pretty tough when it comes to that. Just let him do his job, I guess, haha. Answer honestly because you are what you are." On April 25, 2011, he posted, "I want to express our struggles through rap. I think people should know." It's interesting to note that he later did release a rap song. This shows a determined focus. If he wants to figure something out, he will. Some might speculate that if he is the alleged perpetrator, he may lack empathy, but here he seems to take on the struggles of the entire forum, wanting to be a voice for their suffering through rap. On April 30, 2011, age 16, he wrote, "I have become very deep and determined on goals. It made me smarter." This was in response to a question about the benefits of their disease. His post about knowing the cause or cure of visual snow, as mentioned earlier, was met with strong negative reactions. Users accused him of sounding like a salesperson. He defended himself, saying, "I didn't buy the book yet, it's been rough lately," and "I really believe in this diet, but I sparked the interest in many people, so much for Omega to even post a thread about the Candida diet, so I guess I'm not failing my purpose. My friend's uncle is giving me the diet as soon. It's just been busy, I work too. You know, the diet is specific and you can eat certain foods only, so I will help you guys out. I am getting the information." He genuinely seemed to be trying to help, but his approach was clearly not well received. One user angrily retorted, "You sparked people's interest because you said you knew the cure, not because you came up with something so brilliant. If you had the title, say, a diet that might help, you would have got very little interest. The only reason you got this interest is because you lied. You lied that you knew the cause and cure and have not delivered anything. I'm being harsh, but this thread is absolutely ridiculous. This is going nowhere. Nothing positive is coming from this, only argument. Can moderators please close this?" Another user, Byron, added, "Your whole opening post is clearly a sales pitch. Either you are a salesperson or you are the victim of one." They were clearly unhappy. On May 12, 2011, he poured out his heart. "I always feel as if I am not there, completely depersonalized mentally. I experience fog, lack of comprehension at some times, feel like my life is a movie, depersonalization, depression, no interest in activity, constant thoughts of anyone's own life, crazy thoughts, delusions of grandeur, interesting anxiety, poor self-image, poor social skills, no emotion. I feel like nothing has a point to it. When I get home, I am mean to my family. This started when VS did. I felt no emotion, and along with the depersonalization, I can say and do whatever I want with little remorse. Everyone hates me pretty much. On May 14, 2011, he said, still around 16 years old, "Palinopsia is the least of my worries. I took Topamax before and it just made me insane. I broke my table for no reason, seriously, lol. I never really cared about after images since I had developed them at age 9 and they got intense." Then, on July 5, 2011, came his longest and perhaps darkest post, titled, "Can you relate? I have this horrible depersonalization go on in my life for almost 2 years. I often find myself making simple human interactions, but it is as if I'm playing a role, playing a game such as Oblivion. I can see what's going on, I'm slightly into it, but I can pause the game and focus on my real life. In this case, my life is the game, and my old self can be reached by pausing the game, but how? I often think of things that humans do, things I have done my whole life. I feel like an organic sack of meat with no self-worth as I'm starting to view everyone as this. Everything I've ever done makes no sense. How did things get this way? How am I wearing this shirt, and who decided that humans shall wear shirts like this? Are we all just advanced animals with possession, or is there more? More that I can't see, I can't connect. I view everything as I would if I was playing Oblivion, pointless and full of nothing out of reality. I am moving out of my house. My last holidays were already live, but where was I? As my family group hugs and celebrates, I am stuck in this void of nothing, feeling completely no emotion, feeling nothing. I feel dirty, like there is dirt inside of my head, my mind. I'm always dizzy and confused. I feel no self-worth. I am intelligent, but I feel the opposite. I say things I don't mean. The last holiday in my house, the house I grew up in, the house I once contributed to, the house I once felt at home in, is past. As I hug my family, I look into their faces. I see nothing. It is like I'm looking at a video game, but less. I feel less than mentally damaged. It is like I have severe brain damage. I'm stuck in the depths of my mind where I have to constantly battle my demons. Am I here or am I fake? I feel myself slipping away. I hear screams faintly, but I constantly battle away from it. What if I let go? Where would I be? Would I ever come back to reality? I try to remember where I originated from, but I can't. I barely remember my childhood. I often fear being 80 years old, alone, and having faint memories of my parents. Everything I missed out on. I think about my father, what a good man he is, how I treat him like dirt because I have this condition and I can't take it. I might spiral out of control and lose myself in the void. I can't let it all go. All of these regrets I predict for my future self, interesting, all of these thoughts of remorse. I got this when I was in my stage of discovery. Now, here is the quote that was shared in the most recent Dateline episode, "The Terrible Night on King Road." Now I look in the mirror and I see this sickly, tired, useless, and stupid man in the mirror. He is a complete disgrace. He doesn't even deserve to live. I remember when I was 15, I would wander alone at 2 a.m. Everything was so generic, nowhere felt like home. I saw things that were not there, a different reality. I felt eerie and alone. I died during those nights. I felt like a criminal, but where was my record? Well, I can't talk without flinching now. I used to be this healthy blonde boy with blue eyes, and in a few years, I have darker hair and darker eyes, half the body weight. Where did I leave off? I tried to sleep. I tried to clear my head, but the pressure won't go away. The pain and depression won't leave. Being me is this horrible disease that I was given. I think of this as I succumb to sleep, but I see a large intensity of black, yellow, white fuzz. It makes my mind fizzle, and I can barely keep in the bounds of reality. It is as if the ringing in my ears and the fuzz in my vision is simply all of the demons in my head mocking me. I fall asleep, but I wake up quickly to bloody screams. My goodness, is any of this here? Am I brain damaged? No, then why am I like this? I have these thoughts all in my head. I search for someone to relate to me. Everyone looks down upon me. No one can relate. As I try to read, suddenly my eyes look right through the words. When I look up, I see blue dots near the center of my vision. When I feel slightly calm, it gets hard to breathe, and I see bright dots in my vision. Nothing I do is enjoyable. I am blank. I have no opinion. I have no emotion. I have nothing. Can you relate? Shame. This was posted on July 5, 2011, when he was just 16 years old. On June 11, 2011, he also wrote, "I feel blank and so generic. I can barely remember my eventful childhood. As I try to think of my childhood, I become upset and into a depressed state." Then, on December 20, 2011, "I've had this for over 2 years and I've had it bad in every single way. Not one night I've slept normal since, and I feel like I'm trapped here. I have been able to block it out for a while now, but I realize what is wrong, and it suddenly becomes unbelievable. I'm desensitized in every way now. People say, these are supposed to be the years that I enjoy and cherish. Well, I can't say I'll cherish these days." His final post on the platform was on February 20, 2012. "I've just accepted my visual snow finally. I don't even feel the need to stay away from the forum. It doesn't scare me anymore. Anyone else come to terms? I feel like coming to terms could be a bad thing though." And that was the last anyone heard from him on that platform. Don't you agree that's a significant amount for a teenager to be experiencing and going through? Beyond the visual snow, consider the apparent bullying, weight struggles, substance abuse issues, then overcoming those, engaging in kickboxing and running, losing so much weight he needed surgery, all by the age of 17. It's a lot to process. I don't anticipate any of this personal history being used in the trial itself, which will focus purely on the evidence collected to charge him with 4 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary. He's facing the death sentence in this case, which is a serious matter. Some have speculated, and we've even discussed during live streams, that perhaps if he is convicted, his actions might stem from a desire to feel something driven by immense pain, resentment, or grudges. It's a chilling thought that some individuals might act out in such ways just to experience strong emotions. I'm eager to read your comments and opinions on this, and I anticipate a wide range of perspectives. Please maintain respect in your discussions. I will, of course, be covering the trial, assuming cameras are permitted in the courtroom, which currently seems likely. If there's anything else you'd like me to investigate or discuss, please let me know. I'm always happy to create videos, delve into these complex details, provide the evidence, and present timelines to help you understand cases efficiently. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Please like and subscribe to the channel to be the first to receive notifications every time a new video is released. Thank you, and good luck.